C1x Dev, day 18. We've got tea going on the stove, so I'm going to have to run in a sec, I think. Sounds like it's getting going. Faster than I thought it was, but I think the goal is going to be to largely get this beta version finished today. Got at least an hour to stream, including the 2 minutes I'm going to have to step away. Probably could have just waited to start the stream. I thought it was going to take longer to boil. Let me get my list pulled up here. Drag this over. Make it a little bit smaller. Not that much smaller. Here's our to-do list. We're going to do the saving of courses. All right, tea's going. Be right back. All right. Also using the bedroom as a drying rack at the moment, so we're organized, we're ready, well prepared. Day 18. All right, so last time I know we did a few different things, but we finished with quite a bit of work on adjusting the layout and navigation regarding adding courses, managing courses, etc. So what I want to do today is in our add a course file, I have the confirm course button right now, which currently doesn't do anything. It pushes to the preset menu just because I copied and pasted the code for the button. What we want that to do is actually save the course to the app. Right now, you can't do that manually. Obviously, we can add preset courses. We've done this previously. These are the courses already set in the app. Just so everyone knows, it's not in C1x yet, but the same list is in Throw with the Pros and on Throw with the Pros and eventually on C1x. If I keep this list in here, there'll be a button where you can request to add courses. If you tap that, it just pulls up your email client and you just send me an email with the course name and then what score you think you'd have to shoot to get 1,000 rating on that course, or what score you think 1,000 rated player would shoot. I think that's how I'm going to phrase it in this app, and I like that better. But regardless, if you send me those two things, I'll go find the course on UDisc and pull pars and distances and do all the math to get it shown on this list. So another cool thing you can do with it is if you have a really cool Safari layout that you want everyone to be able to use and Throw with the Pros or C1x, all of your local buddies or whatever it may be, you can request a Safari layout too. You'll have to give me some more information for it, but we can get a Safari layout added so everyone will have it, or your whole local club will have it, or however you want it to look. Anywho, so we already have the functionality in this to save courses to the course file. It just only works for the preset courses right now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to find my add global to personal list, because basically once we hit add to list, we're just running that function. So this function here, which I am now highlighting, is the code we need to save the course. So we're going to just copy and paste this over down into our add a course file. This is going to be add course to personal list. We're going to pass these things in. I'm going to need to import the same packages that we're using, because a lot of the code regarding the JSON management is coming from different files. So there's that one. There's shared preferences, which we do need. Do I actually read shared preferences? I'm saying that, I don't know that I actually do. If I come down here and we comment this out, where am I using it at? Oh, the new course ID. That makes sense. Okay. We'll want the same thing here. I was trying to remember why I had that package in there, but that is why. Okay. We have to adjust the logic, obviously, but this should have the structure that we need in order to get this done. Tea's hot. All right, so course info decoded is still fine. This is still fine. This is all fine. All right, so this is the code we're going to update. New course name. We are actually going to have to add some logic too. We'll get to that in a sec. New course name is going to be that text field. Literally just this value. So we're going to pass string new course name. Where am I using course index at? Here. Okay, so we don't need course index, but I do need new course name. Location is not something we're currently asking for. Do I need the location? I don't think so. Is that something I just get rid of entirely? I think the location is important to not reorder for these preset courses, just so you know that you're pulling from the right course, but for adding a course, it's not necessary. Because I'm definitely saving it on my personal list. I'm saving a location. If we go to manage your courses, I could definitely make this something that is just not displayed here. It actually currently isn't displayed at all. So maybe I'll just make the location here. So I'm getting new course name. Call it course name. We're not going to get course location. Final course location is going to be equal to, I want it to be short because that is how the other locations are set up. Just be a string. What would make sense to the user if they ever saw it. That it's not really a location, it's just they added the course manually. Maybe we just call it user. Like that. I'm gonna roll with that for the time being. Pars. So pars is something we will grab from this new course pars. So that's gonna be an array of ints. So we're gonna go list int course pars. Course distances. This is where I start to have issues. Is how much information do I want? Because I want adding a course to be as easy as possible. And this here is fairly easy, but if I start adding a type in a distance for every single hole, especially for some users who don't necessarily want that, maybe I forego the distances. And it's just, the reason I want distances in there is just because that gives me more options in the future for creating analytics based on a user's game, and I can incorporate distance values like they struggle on par 3s beyond this distance, or par 4s beyond this distance, or I don't know. But if I don't request it here, when I play through a round right now, do I show a distance? I don't. Nor, I guess, do I necessarily need it. I could just see that being something that is requested down the road. Course distances is going to be equal to list filled. Length is going to be course pars length. Is that how that works? It is, because I'm adding and subtracting in course pars, right? Yeah. All right, course pars dot length. Fill is going to be 100. Isn't a const. Does that work then? Can I use final? I can use final. Okay. Does 100 make sense? There could technically be holes that are 100 feet. I'm going to call it 10 feet. We're just going to fill this in for now. So every course the user manually adds will be set at 10 feet. And I'm setting it as that because it's a small number. If I ever have to display it, it's not going to break anything. But also because there's never going to be a disc golf hole that's actually 10 feet, right? There shouldn't be. I'll even make it 5. It doesn't matter. But that way every user added course will automatically have a distance of 5 feet. And if I ever have to go make adjustments to that down the road, it'll be very easy for me to code in something that recognizes when a course has been manually added, because every single hole distance will be 5 feet or 5 meters or whatever the unit is. That doesn't matter. Hole averages we're going to have to calculate. And I'll have to pull in a little bit of logic from Throw at the Pros. So let me go and pull. Whoop. Good thing there was nothing super important there. Nothing important at all. All right. We need to go to my Throw at the Pros code. And where I'm creating the hole averages, because that's what we're going to copy and paste right now. Course management, add a course review. Here we go. Add course, new course, hole averages. Add course data. So I'm calculating it already. Where do I calculate it at? Calculate total par. No. So it's on a different one. It had holes. Is this where it's at? Trying to find the right function for I actually calculate these whole averages. Here we go. Calculate whole averages. Because right now, at least I want this to be done in the exact same way that it's done in Throw with the Pros. So let's go here, add course, personal list. Let's just add a new file here. Calculate course info dart. List here. Like so. I don't know if I'm ever actually gonna need this import. Is this just gonna, it'll give me a yellow line. That's all right. I can remove it later. All right, so I have to pass pars, whole difficulties, and score for 1,000. Okay. Yeah. And then modifier for difficulty. Okay. This should be fine here though. This is going to be 1 dimension shorter. Whole difficulties we are not going to pass right now. Because final whole difficulties is equal to difficulties. It's fine. Is equal to list filled pars dot length, and the fill can be 5. This is what I would have been done in Throw with the Pros for this anyways. All right, so let's get this function fully fixed here for each whole. Averages add, standard averages add. Pin sum. So we're not counting pins at all. I'm going to get rid of that. There is no pins. Par sum plus equal to pars whole. Difficulty sum is equal to difficulties whole. Pin is not equal to 0. Averages. I want these to be 1-dimensional as well. Yeah, okay. Add 0.0, 0.0. Oh, and then these, I can do this actually. We'll make this look cleaner here. Improve upon the Throw with the Pros code a little bit at least. All right. So I'm trying to keep all the math the same, just update variables to reflect what their structure is actually going to be in C1x. Average per par. This is just going to be 1. Pin sum, number of pins, number of pars is just going to be 1. So times 1 here, which does not matter. Average score, 2 double, that's fine. Divided by par sum, 2 double. what is my average per par? Average score is equal to score 1000. Yeah. All right, so for each hole, that's fine. For each pin, all right, modifier for difficulty. So we're not doing this for each pin. So modifier for difficulty is equal to hole difficulties whole to double divided by difficulty sum to double minus 1 divided by par sum to double times 2.0. Okay, so this is good. Standard averages. Let's copy and paste this here. Standard averages whole is equal to pars whole plus average per par times par whole plus modifier for difficulty. If standard averages is less than pars whole to double minus 0.6, whole to double minus 0.6. And then this line, standard average is whole is equal to double par standard average is whole. String is fixed 2. Okay, so no pins. That simplifies this code a little bit. Averages is equal to standard averages. We are returning only a single array here. So now this is good. So now we can call this function to actually generate our averages, our whole averages for the course we're manually adding. And I want whole averages to be in there for the same reason that I want not doing a good job of multitasking here. For the same reason I wanted distances, is it just gives me more information to pull from when I'm producing stat analytics. And with the distances, they're annoying because I'd have to ask for the distance on every single hole. But for the whole averages, I can generate all of that with just this information and a general course difficulty. Just by them adding the pars and then what score they think a 1000 rated player would shoot. So we've got that file implemented. So here, let's start to fill these in just so I'm not forgetting. New name is equal to course name. New location is going to be equal to course location. New pars is course pars. New distances is course distances. New averages is going to be calculate whole averages, course pars. And then here I need to pass. So on add info, and I'm getting this 1000 rated. We've got new course index for 1000 rated. This doesn't work at all, does it? No, it does. Index. How did I do this? What does the index start at? At 18? This is fine. So I want, what I'm displaying is the score, and that is what I want to read here. New course score for 1000 rated. String score. All right, so var new score new 1,000 score is equal to even. And then we're going to go if score I have that index. I should just pass that. All right. Score index. And I don't like the way that I have this currently. So we're going to start the index at 0. And then on the logic down here, we're going to instead go new course score for 1,000 rated. Oh, but that's why I had the index there, is because of this. Okay, that's okay. We can do it this way. So if is greater than negative 18 is less than what did I go to? Positive 18? Yeah. It's less than 18. That's going to happen. So new course score for 1,000 rated is going to be that index. So it's starting at 0. When it's at negative 18, this needs to be at 0. So this needs to be plus 18 plus 18. That should work. And that way I can pass the index here. And that's going to already give me exactly what I need. And I think that makes more sense anyways. Score for 1,000 rated. Here I was just looking for the integer. Score 1,000 rated. Yes. And that's just going to be score index. Okay, difficulty. Calculating the course difficulty. Let's find where I do that and throw it to pros here. Add course review. Course to personal list. Add course. It's definitely calculated somewhere. Number of holes. Here we go. This is a little bit silly. I'll try and understand how I did this before I just blindly implement. 0.67. Let's do a little math here. Okay. That's fine. Times parse dot course parse dot length minus score indexed double times course parse dot length. Okay. New course units is user settings dot unit of measurement. And then I'm gonna have to just implement that here. Settings. Let's roll back down. New course ID. Next course ID is saved where? Wasn't that on main? Round ID on display. No, where is it at? Course providers. No. Next course ID, course loading. Okay. Course loading. So now that's good. So now we have all of our new course information. It was very roundabout, but I needed to calculate whole averages, course difficulties. That's stuff that's already included in our global list. Each of these courses already has those. Yeah. But we need to do it for the manual ones. Manually added courses. So we have this. For each course, we're adding the new course names. Okay. If new course names contains new name, dupe. Yep, that's good. So here I just want, if they already have the fort saved on their course list and they just added the fort again, I'm going to add a duplicate here. Just this little string at the end of it, just so it's clear that they already added it once. That way they can go delete it or edit the name if it is actually something different. All right, then we're going to add our new course information. I need to add my course providers so we can actually update the course list. Course providers. Then we're going to do a little print new parse. Let's actually just do this all at the end here. So I'm going to add a course and test it just to make sure that everything's working. Print new averages. Print new difficulty. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so we add it, added here. We update all the providers. And then it is new course equals yes. Courses, add new course, and then we actually save the file. All right, let's hit a refresh here. So trying to do this. Addition of course to the JSON file, and then we have to update the provider so that it's immediately read across the app. So this is our current course list, the Fort Gold's easy. Let's add Creekside here in Salt Lake City. Creekside is 18 holes. It is a par 3 course, but just so I can test things, let's say 18 is a par 4. Occasionally in a tournament it plays as that. 1,000 rated at Creekside is probably a 9 or 10 under. It's not that hard of a course. Let's say it's a 10. And then we can't do that yet because I never actually added the code. So on confirm course, I think I want to go back to the main menu of context pop. Let's go set state here, add course to personal list, ref is good. This is going to be new course name. This is going to be new course pars. And then that one is going to be new course index for 1,000 rated. Okay, we got an error here. Oh, I just got to add this. All right, let's do that one more time. I got to refresh it so it'll actually call the function. All right, one more take here, still only the 2 courses. So we've got Creekside. It is 18 holes. We're going to say hole 18 might be a par 4. We're going to go 10 under. Now let's hit confirm course. All right, so we got our prints here. New pars is correct. New averages looks good. New difficulty looks Is that right? So that came out to roughly 12 minus 10. Negative 12 minus 10, so negative 22 divided by 25, so negative 0.08. Let me go to my global list and make sure that that's aligned. It may not be exact, but I do have Creekside already as a part of my global list, way up here somewhere. So the more negative a number is, the harder it is. Roots is 0.08, Creekside is 0.12, yeah. Okay, so that is accurate, aligned with the, with how I was calculating these originally. Whole averages are going to be slightly off because I added a par 4. It does adjust things a little bit. But sweet, so this seems to be working. Now, more importantly, if I come here, all this information is reset. And if we go to my courses, Creekside is there. If we go to start a round, Creekside is there. If I go click on Creekside, all of the information is here. Length is 5. I wonder if instead of 5, can I do like a 000? That would be cool and helpful. I don't know if it's going to just truncate that to 10. Let's try it real quick. Resetting this, I think I am still, resetting the file, so that's good. Course isn't there because I think I've said this every string now, but every time I refresh the app, I'm deleting and then downloading the course and round files just so I'm not building up all of these test files. And so they're saving just fine, but I'm literally deleting the file if it exists every time I launch the app. Intended. Confirm the course. And then if we go to my courses, so it does truncate it to zeros. And I'm sure it gets rid of the 001s too. Like if I were to do this. Maybe worth a try real quick. Give it a try. All right, courses. Call it C, doesn't matter. Confirm course. Yeah. Because if it shows 5 here, I think that is just confusing to the user. So I think what that means I need to do right now is until I come to a decision on actually incorporating distances in the app, on this courses menu, when tapping, we're just not going to show the length right now. Because as of right now, it's not even being shown when you're playing the course, so what does it matter? Right? Didn't I just hide it? Oh, that's a total distance count. So I had that up here as well. Yeah, so we got to hide it here too. Okay. Number of holes, par, each individual hole par. Not going to show distances yet. I can still show them on the preset courses because they all have accurate distances in there from UDisc, but from UDisc and from the PDGA website, wherever the course information is publicly available. I want to show the distances, but there's not a clean way for me to do that, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I leave it there for now. And if I have testers requesting that distances are added, then the structure is built out for it. I would just have to figure out the best way to incorporate it on this screen and make it not take forever to input. Other question I have is when I hit confirm course, do I want to actually go back? I think so. I think that's fine for now. Okay, so course addition is done. We can check this off. I did click it. All right, next. What do I want to do next? Progressive saving the stats to minimize computing time for all stats. On the stats range for the user or other stats. I'm really about there. The next thing to do would probably be to implement this structure I have in these tasks here, not this one, but these two tasks for progressively calculating stats. Just because right now, if you go to the all stats view, every time you click that button, it's calculating stats for every single round. And it works really fast. If I only have one round, it'll probably still work really fast if I only have 10 rounds, but if I get up to 100 or 200 or 300 rounds saved in the app, it's going to get a bit slower. I would like for it to not do that. I want it to be a smooth experience. So I had the thought of progressively calculating stats each time a new round was submitted. But that is going to get a little bit complicated for sure. I'm thinking. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more thinking on this off stream. I think we will. Let's look at the round statistics here. So I wanted to add driving and putting stats. To be at least somewhat similar to what golf websites use, what PDGA Live uses. Showing individual hole stats where they show driving, putting, etc. What do you actually want to see here? because whatever I do here is going to need to match around finished as well. Didn't think about this, but I just got rid of course locations, and that is something I'm displaying on this view right now. So let's go remove that. Round information, par and score, it's up here. Course, let's get rid of round location right now. We'll just go round date. Yeah. Then I'm going to need to copy that. Let's take it to round finished, because I think I should have the same thing here. Round finished, course. Yeah, here we just need date of play. Okay. Go ahead and get ahead of that one. So I want driving. Let's throw in some placeholders initially. We'll probably sign off here shortly, and then we'll put a list together of, I'll I think expand on these ideas a little bit. We'll do a little thinking on how I'm going to do this progressive calculating of stats, and then I'll have a list for the next stream where there will hopefully put the finishing touches on this beta testing one. It is, I mean, it's basically there. You can now, as of 5 minutes ago, add courses. They'll be saved in the app, and then you can score rounds on those courses and get at least these stats. You'll get this output. Definitely a lot to be desired, but this all works. But we're going to want to show some stats underneath here. So under round display, for each set of 9, I'm going to have to do some other calculations here. I have round display calculations here. What I actually think I want is a file here, and this is going to be round display graphics dart. And in that file, we're going to include all of our functions for determining what graphics get shown underneath each hole. So under round display, under this for loop for each hole, for each set of 9 for each hole, I've got a column. So I'm putting all of this in a column. So I'm going to need a similar column here. Thinking. It's going to be a interesting way to go about this, but it's what I'm going to do at the moment. I need these all to get the height right here. So I'm basically going to insert a bunch of blank items. Is opacity an option here? It is not. I can do it in color though, which is this 0, 1, parse 3, 0, 300, 0. And this padding needs to be, there's no opacity there. Let's go copy this. colors.white. User whole scores. This doesn't matter. And we'll copy that. We'll add some constants here. Okay. Constant here. So I'm trying to just add a blank column here of stuff you're not going to be able to see, but will have the same content in it so that it takes up the same amount of height. And then that way I can throw my driving putting symbols along here, and then we can show the stats. So these are all going to get switched together a little bit closer, which is intended. Const. Const. And here. All right, and then under each one of these, what do I want? It's going to start like this, I think. Distance, not distance, excuse me. So we're going to have driving, putting, C1 putting, C2 putting, scrambling, driving, C1, C2, scrambling, and OB. Let's just try this. Driving, putting, C1, C2, or no, sorry, I had putting. C1, C2, scrambling, and OB. And then these are, I think, eventually going to become icons, but let me hit save. Let's just see what happens here. I didn't update any of the opacities, so let's go one. And one. So all the text was there, it was just completely transparent. So we're going to fix that. And this is not obviously actually doing anything, but it's just kind of giving me an idea of how the layout's going to look. All right, so we clearly messed something up here. These look right. I don't know what this one's doing at the end. This all falls within the column. This is how I expected it to look. I don't know what these three extra ones are doing. All right, we have the list view. We have course, we have round dates. Within a row, we have the par and the score. We have a spacer, and then for each set of 9. Do I need to print set of 9 here? Is that? I think what's Okay. This is my issue. Holes to display. For each set of 9, 18, 27, 36. Doesn't have to be that many. I also intended to display 9 holes here. That is not how this is going to work. I'm going to fit 6 in. I'm probably going to have to just fix this view and then just copy and paste it over to the round finished. Because this is not as close as I had thought. It shouldn't take me long. But this is going to be set of 6, not set of 9. Holes to display is going to have to be updated. Six, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Is less than. Six. Length. $12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Six. Here. Here. 18. 6. 12, 18, and then 24, 30, 36. This is going to be 24, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36. Else if length is less than 30, holes to display 6, 12, 18, 24, length 36. Yes, less than 36. Perfect. Okay, so this is now updated correctly. Now we have to go back down to this for loop and figure out how I want to do this. So can this just be round pars, round index, length, round pars, round index, dot length. So let's say it's 6 divided by 6. Is that how? That's not quite going to work, is it? Does it need to be +1? Just isn't quite going to work. So this works. Let's say there's only 6 holes is the minimum that we can have on the course. Let's say there's 7. Let's say there's 7. This is going to return 1. That's going to equal 2. It's got to be less than 2, so it's going to run through 0 and 1 on this for loop, which works exactly as intended. But where it doesn't work is when we have exactly 6 or 12 or 18, the most common number of holes we're going to have. Because if it's 6, this still returns 2, and I need it to only return 1. Var divisible by 6 is equal to false. If round pars round index dot length is equal to 0 divisible by 6 is equal to true. So then I can have a var number of rows is equal to round pars round index divided by, or length divided by 6 if divisible by 6. I'm making this a little too complicated here. If this, then number of rows minus equal to 1. Right? So if it's 6, 1, 7, 1, all the way up to 12, which where it would be 2. If it's 6, this returns 1. I can do minus 1 is equal to 0. So here we can go in our for loop. Reason for doing that is I can go make this number of rows. And now this should work for everything. Set of 6. Let's copy and paste here. Go down to where we had our set of 9. For whole is equal to, I don't know if I can just copy and paste this like so, but we are going to try. Times 6. I'm going to try and just set it up the exact same way, and yeah, looks like that worked as intended. Let's do a refresh, make sure that's still the case. I set all this code up initially under the impression that I was going to have 9 holes to a row, but I just can't fit that many. So now it's 6. Now we got rid of the extra stuff here at the bottom. So this isn't bad. It isn't bad. So what we'll need to do is create some graphics for how this is actually going to look. I kind of want driving to look like a T-pad. We'll probably leave C1 and C2 here. Maybe I'll leave the letters for now. That'll be clearer. Yeah, I could always make this scrollable left or right and just have the whole scorecard here, but I want it all to be viewable like this. I don't think that looks as good. So we've got the layout here. We're not going to touch around finished view. I'll end up updating it once this view is finished. So next time we'll probably go through the process of creating some graphics to actually display here. I just threw the letters in so we have the placeholder for the layout, but not necessarily going to be the case. Probably look and see how some golf websites capture driving. I'll get some ideas. That'll be something we do in the next stream. OB strokes are just going to be blank, and then we'll add in values here. So let's go ahead and update some tasks. We can do that and then call it. New view for displaying round information, new file. That's basically done. So right now I want to show, let's delete this item. I guess here first, let's open this. Let's add a task, create functions for determining round display graphics. Let's close that out. Let's move this up here. All right, so right now this is going to be driving C1, C2, scramble, and OB. We'll call it penalty right now. Maybe I'll make that like a red flag or something. I like that. Let me go jot that down here so I don't forget. Let's actually, I don't think this is in the right spot. I'm going to delete this task. I think it's unclear. I've created the new view, so I'm going to check it off. And then we're going to add a task here for actually creating and then implementing graphics. Create graphics for round display view. And then implement graphics for round display view. Oh. I want these to go up at the top. Round display graphics. So driving is going to have what do we think? Probably like fairway, C1, C2, and then OB if it's needed, or penalty. So driving is going to have C1, C2, fairway, rough, and penalty. Rough and penalty. All right, circle 1. Do I just want this to show a number? That's going to be my question there. Just a number of like C1 putts made, C1 putts attempted. Yeah, I think so. Number of attempted, and then circle 2 is going to be the same. These should return strings because I do want them to be blank. Number of attempted. Scramble is going to be a success or fail. I think that should be all it needs to be. Success or fail, or blank if scramble wasn't needed at all. And then penalty Do I want it to be strokes, penalty strokes? Like just a number, or do I want it to be a graphic? Let's go number right now. Number of penalty strokes. All right. Give me one. All right. Those should be all the functions we need. And then for creating graphics, that's going to be the same thing. So I actually would like to can I just duplicate all of these? This might freeze it for a second. But I just want to drop all this underneath the graphics thing. Yeah, that'll work. That didn't quite work. That did not quite work. That's okay. We'll make it work here. Delete those 5. Delete this. I like duplicated single tasks. And subtasks, which is strange. All right, scramble. I need to delete these 2. And then penalty, I need to delete this one. All right, and then we can grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, and grab this. And then I need to move them all. Oh, don't do this on me. Here we go. No, that's the wrong one. That's not going to make it easy. Maybe I can't just drag them outside of it and then drop them in. I don't. What is this going to do? I don't know. Here we go. This is. That's not what I wanted, but. Why can't I drag them here? Why won't you let me drop them here? Yes, discard this sorting. This is driving me crazy. All right, can I put them in a specific task now? Thank you. All right. So now right under create graphics for round display view. Perfect. So we're going to create a graphic now for each one of these. We can hide all of those. Hide these. And then to make this easy on myself, we're just going to delete this. I'm going to duplicate this one. And then I'll just rename it. Implement. That just didn't save it all. Nope. There we go. All right. So next time we'll run through these. We'll add the displays here for the round display view, round finished view. Implement all those graphics. Once we have that done, we can copy it over into the round finished view. So let's go ahead and add a note for that. Once round display view is finished, copy over to round finished view and update logic. Because I had that whole 9 versus 6 whole thing in a row. I haven't updated that over to round finished either. So all of that's going to have to change. And we'll have to do some test runs. But we get those two things in. I figure out what I'm going to do about this. What was the word I was using earlier? Just calculating stats after each round is submitted instead of all at once. Kind of incrementally doing it to save a little bit of computing if users build up a large storage of rounds in the app. But then we should be about there. Try and get done some of this boring stuff offline, so that way next stream we can just jump straight into it. I may pull some of the graphics outside of the stream as well, just so you guys don't have to watch me painfully create those. But I'll run through how I created them or where I got them from in general. We'll get those all set up. Anything else? Info buttons next to each stat. That is one that would probably just go on this screen. I don't think I want to clog up this view with it. Pretty confident that I don't want to do that. Let's go to our add a course view, because here I have an info button already built into this. 1000 rated icon. Nope, not remove. None of these. It's this one here. Here we go. Icon button. And then let's go to our all stats view. And then next to each stat, let's refactor this in a row. Let's add this. Tab this out. Let's center everything. Not space evenly, center. Maybe start makes more sense. Let's try end. Let's see what end looks like. I don't know if I'm gonna love that, but maybe I won't mind it. And then let's do a final stat descriptions equal to, and then it's how many stats do I have. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 of these. Description, comma. 1, 2, 3, 29. Let's do this. going to comment which description each stat is going for. Holes played, fairway hits parked. Holes played, fairway hits parked. C1 in reg, C2 in reg, C1x putting, C1 in reg, C2 in reg, C1x putting, and then I'm pretty sure it goes C1 putting, C2 putting. C1x putting, C1 putting, C2 putting. Scrambles, OB penalty strokes, OB penalty rate, OB penalty strokes, OB penalty rate, ace, eagle, birdie, par, ace, eagle, frequency, birdie, frequency, par, frequency, bogey, frequency, double, bogey, plus frequency, bounce back rate, C1 makes streak, birdie streak, bounce back rate, longest C1 makes streak, longest birdie streak, longest bogey free streak, C2 bonus, longest bogey free streak, C2 bonus. Just saw a typo up here. I'm sure there's more than one. Average putt length, total putt length, there's one right there. Let's go fix that. Can't have that all rounds. No double H's there. There we go. All right, back up here. So after C2 bonus, average putt length, total putt length, longest putt, average putt length, total putt length, longest putt, longest throw in, combined round score, longest throw in, combined round score, average round rating, highest round rating, average round rating, highest round rating. Okay, and then on that info button, where did I put it? Down here. All right, so for each, this is going to be stat descriptions, stat, what did I call it? Exactly that, stat descriptions. It doesn't like it for some reason. Where was it at? No, it's not a constant, that's fine. For each description, stat info. Context, stat info, set state. We'll throw a const here. That's going to be the description. Dismiss, we'll pop stat info context. Whoa. Yeah, I see what the issue is there. I see the issue. I aligned it at the end, so everything's showing at the very end of the screen. I just wanted all the stats to line up. That was kind of my thought, but I'm thinking about it, and that's not really going to be possible right now. So then you tap on one of these, the description pops up. That'll be the idea. This can be much smaller. Yeah, and I can probably also only do these buttons for ones that aren't obvious. We can leave this as in for now, though. I have the info buttons at least as I need them. Maybe we call it there. Got a lot of things to an okay spot, and feels unproductive. I was thinking I was going to finish today, but getting cut a little short here. So I'll try and do another stream here within the next day or two. Give me a little time to prepare for this. I'm running a public event for my other disc golf app there with the pros on Saturday in a few days, so I've been trying to get prepared for that as well. So a little bit overlap here, but we are still very close. We got course saving done at least. All of the course management is finished. You can't reorder courses. I don't think that's that important right now. It'll come at a later date. So these my to-do list for this app are going to be constantly growing and adding stuff, removing stuff as we continue developing, go through beta testing, get feedback, etc. But we got course saving done. We got placeholders in for this stuff to be ready to add some graphics. We got info buttons added for stat descriptions. What else did we do? Did I do anything else? Maybe that was it. Removed links, added the calculations for this. Yeah, not unproductive, but yeah. We will hopefully get it set up next time to where most of this stuff I can knock out in one more stream. And then what I'll probably end up doing is this to add later is some stuff that there's a mix of stuff that I just didn't want to do until I'd already started beta testing, and then there's stuff of 6 months down the road maybe I think about implementing this. So once I've cleared out this general development list up here, just with these handful of items left, I'll start to move some of that stuff up that I'm ready to start tackling, and then I'm going to go through the app and add a whole bunch of other tasks to get in before launch. Simple things like finalizing fonts and adding background images and designing the buttons and adding some sounds and all types of stuff to get it ready for an actual finished product. But did not deem those things to be necessary for beta testing. So yeah, we will we'll call it there for today. Got a little work to do to get ready for the next stream, but we're close. So as always, thanks to anybody who finds us after the fact. Leave some comments if you got any suggestions or feedback on the way the app's looking. But